ultimately what Hoffmann provide industry is huge.
Absolutely. We make our customers more successful by increasing productivity.
And simplifying the procurement in their industrial tooling, equipment and PPE.
Welcome everybody to this week's MTDCNC podcast. I've got two lovely guests sitting next to me. I'm going to introduce you to them shortly, but today's podcast is really about raising awareness to a safer working environment and how Hoffmann can support customers to minimise risk and increase the level of health and safety in the workplace. The reason I say this is interesting because I think this is for everybody to take on board and raise awareness and educate health and safety. And I know health and safety is quite not a taboo subject, but people often go, oh, health and safety.
Mm-hmm.
But it's understanding how important this is and how we all need to be educated on this. So, right, let's start off by introducing Dharmesh Devabai. Great surname, I love that. Dharmesh, tell me about your role in the company and Hoffmann Group, please.
Hi, nice to meet you today. My name's Dharmesh. As a PPE specialist, I've been with Hoffmann for almost 3 years now.
Yes.
So I work closely with my colleague Hayley, and our roles are to support our customers, is to grow our PPE offering in the UK, and it's also to make us the most successful PPE specialist or supplier in the UK, really.
Okay, and it's quite interesting because you talk about PPE with Hoffmann because a lot of people often know Hoffmann as the cutting tools. Like you've got catalogues upon catalogues, but this is kind of zoning into an area of what you serve in the industry, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is our newest catalogue within the range of catalogues that we have. It's the biggest growth area within what we have as well, and we've got an array of different products from head to toe to support all of our customers' needs.
Right. Okay. And this is. We're going to park kind of some of the products aside because we're going to start off with kind of why the education behind all of this is so important. And we've got the lovely Hayley Johnson here, who has said a special request that, you know, when you come onto a set like this, you have a rider, you know, that brings you things. Yeah. What's your request today, Hayley?
It was peanut M&Ms, but I can't see it.
Gabri's not any peanut M&M. We need some peanut M&Ms. That's what we need, don't we?
I refuse to come again until...
I like this. So Hayley Johnson, Hayley, what are you kind of bringing to the table today then?
30 years I've been in this industry now, in PPE for over 30 years now, and I've been with Hoffmann, like Dee, I've been almost 4 years now. So when I first joined, obviously, like you've said, Hoffmann are known for cutting tools, but obviously we just wanted everybody to know that, you know, we are a PPE UK supplier now.
And PPE is so huge. And this is kind of what I find interesting about this is let's go down to manufacturing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If someone, say, is running their facility, maybe they've started from the bottom and they've worked their way up the company.
Absolutely.
This is what you're finding is people just need that education behind understanding what the health and safety requirements are.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you bring to the table in terms of, Dharmesh, your qualifications? Because this is what we really need to talk about is we hear about NEBOSH. Like my husband works in recruitment. And sometimes when he's recruiting managers, they need to be NEBOSH specialists. So this is a name that is recognised across industry, but you've studied long and hard to get you to where you are today.
So in essence, you're right. It's a formalised qualification that teaches us about health and safety within the workplace, how to minimise risk. And this qualification, it's internationally recognised, and it allows us to be able to support our customers. And as you mentioned there, if somebody kind of does need that extra support within what they're doing, it gives us that credibility, that professional experience to be able to go in and support them and maybe give them a different angle that they may not have necessarily had in the first instance.
Yeah.
So we're there to support and help them to make sure that they are keeping their workforce safe and reducing the risk within the workplace.
So what are you doing day to day with customers? What are you seeing out there in the industry that people are kind of their pain points? What are they doing wrong and what do they need you for?
A variety of different things. So all of our customers within different industries. So we work in manufacturing, we work in food and all sorts of variety of different industries, and they all have different requirements, and things happen, things go wrong. And it's being that trusted, reliable partner to be able to support them. And if they pick up the phone and say, look, we've had an incident on site as an example, or for example, they're not using the right glove, or there's somebody slipped and they're not using the right footwear, we will be there to be able to support them, whether it be ourselves, whether it be us working with the manufacturers directly. We can orchestrate these visits and meetings to be able to help our customers to eliminate risk and reduce that within the workplace.
So on a day-to-day basis, what's a typical phone call that you will get that Hoffmann are, how does it all begin? Where does the ball start rolling?
There is no typical day. So every day is different because, as mentioned, our customers in a variety of different industries. So one example might be, I might get a phone call in the morning to say, look, we've run out of cut gloves and it's essential for our production. We need some help. Can you get some to us straight away? But can you make sure that the right gloves, that the people that are wearing them are comfortable in them, they help with the jobs that they're doing, and they're cost effective. So for us, we've got several requirements that we then have to identify within our own range, what's going to be the best glove at the right price that will help that operative, as an example, do their job to the best of their ability and keep their hands safe and keep the cost low as well. So that could be one example, but we've got hundreds of categories within our catalogue. Yeah. So it could be a variety of different, different sorts of products that we're working with to be able to support them with, really.
It's almost like it's your consultancy, which it was.
Yeah, I would agree so. Yeah, definitely, to a certain extent.
And Hayley, before we do a podcast, we just chat away in the green room, and you were saying to me that you studied quite a lot for these qualifications. So why have you had to do that within your company?
I think the benefits to not only to myself and Dee, but also to the company, but to our customers as well. We can come to them now with, a really good catalogue full of head-to-toe products of PPE. But what we can also do now is come to them with advice and support on how to minimise the workplace risks, or making a safer environment for them. Because, like I said to you earlier, employers have a moral obligation to make sure that their employees go home safely to their families at night. So we've got to obviously do that and support them in doing that.
So if I'm an employer, how do I know what I need?
Sometimes you won't always know what you need and require. So our services will be more, will be giving you the right fit glove for the job application. This might be us doing a site survey for you, looking at the processes, looking at what the guys are currently using and wearing at the moment. We also find that, myself and Dee always find that talking to the employees that are actually going to be wearing the PPE is a huge benefit, because I think if they feel like they've had some involvement, they're more likely to wear the gloves. And I think also if they've had involvement, they know that their employees taking health and safety, responsibility, and, it's the forefront of their minds.
But let's take it a step back, because you mentioned like gloves and things like that. But how do I know that I've got these problems within my company? Slips, trips, is it everything within a health and safety? My colleague Gio often says you don't know what you don't know, and it's true. So how do I know? Where does it all begin?
Well, you would have done a risk assessment at basic level, and that risk assessment would highlight the risks that are posed within the workplace. But as businesses are evolving and growing, that's where the challenge lies, because if they did a risk assessment years ago, then it could need updating, could need refreshing. So we talked about gloves. A glove is a prime example. The way that gloves, the standard is measured, has changed over the years. So when they initially did their risk assessment, it may have been incorporating the old way of measuring the safety of these gloves. However, today there's a different test for it. Has that been factored into their new risk assessments? So both myself and H, we work together with our customers to review risk assessments at times as well, to make sure that they have thought about as much as they can to make it reasonably practicable, I suppose is the right terminology, safe within their workplace.
Because a lot of the time you'll probably find and the word is preventative here. Mm-hmm. I think I've said that correctly. But how do you really know? So they've done a risk assessment, but you don't want it to be that they're going to you too late. So what is a customer's pain point?
A pain point would be workplace accidents. I mean, I think the last figure that we looked at with HSE was over £20 billion worth of claims in workplace accidents. So that obviously you've got to avoid that happening on the shop floor. And like you say, you've got to provide a safe working environment for your employees. So I think for us just going and identifying, supporting them, it may be that, we're in a food industry one day and in manufacturing another day. So obviously if that health and safety advisor has got different requests and needs different support, really.
So what industries are you traditionally serving then?
So Hoffmann traditionally served the manufacturing industry. That's where their forte lies. However, since both myself and Hayley have joined, we've grown our nature of the customers that we serve. So we now serve customers in the food industry, a variety of different industries now. And that's why for us, our skills are kind of spread amongst different types of businesses. So it's not one fits all. It can be resolving an issue with this customer here, which may be completely different to resolving another issue with another customer there. So it's not kind of that tunnel vision anymore. We're kind of open to serving any industry that requires PPE now.
I think COVID helped us in that respect as well, because, Hoffmann have always been known as this tooling company. But when COVID hit, they were coming to us for their PPE requirements.
Yeah.
And obviously we could service those, and we locally sourced the products that they needed. And those relationships have continued now. So not only are they coming to us for the tooling, they're also asking us for their, the PPE as well.
Like I said, it kind of goes back to that consultancy.
Yes.
So how does this work? So, someone makes it, is there a cost to this? You're educating. I know I'm going to ask you about the tech IOSH as well in a few moments, but, do people are they just going to pick up the phone and go, I need help from Hoffmann?
Yeah, that's it.
Is that
That's as easy as that. It would be good if these customers are trading with us, but if not, we can establish a relationship with them, and we do it for our customers, and we would support their requirements, and that's exactly what we're there for, and there's no charge related to that.
So right. So in terms of yourselves, this tech IOSH, this is another level of training that you've both done.
That's right. So we've formally passed our NEBOSH qualification. Yeah. This then allows us to put a request into IOSH, through the Institute of Occupational Health and Safety, to become technical members. And this is what both myself and H have done now. And that then ensures that we work on our knowledge and we continue to develop the skills that we have. So we attend webinars, we work with our vendors to understand new innovations, new technologies that come into the marketplace. So we're continually learning to be able to support and help our customers, really. And it gives us that bit of credibility that our target demographic or our customers that we work with would have similar qualifications, really. So it does put us on a level playing field with them.
I think so. There's so many PPE suppliers out there. We've got to come to them with something different. So we've come into them with a great catalogue of products, but we're also NEBOSH accredited, and we can support and help them in their journey.
It's so often, because when I go out into a machine shop, for example, so often people are talking about, yes, okay, that can do the job, but I need more. I need that support. I need that sales behind it. And I think that's really important. Do you train people? Where does the level go? Because you're not just supplying someone with a product and saying goodbye.
No, we do. We train our own guys. So we help and support our own team. But not only do we do that, we do toolbox talks for customers. I've recently just done a customer a couple of weeks ago. It was World Health and Safety Day. So I went in on a Friday afternoon, and obviously the guys were so pleased to see me. But we made it fun and games. I made out that I was going to give them this 2-hour PowerPoint presentation so their faces.
Was there M&Ms there as well?
Yeah, because they look after me, obviously. But it wasn't. It was very hands-on. It was how to show them how to correctly fit earplugs. That we had some giveaways. It was to give them a better understanding of, the gloves that they're wearing, what the markings on the gloves actually mean, and are they picking up the right glove for the right application in the right area? They may need different gloves in different areas. So we're more than happy to support people on Toolbox Talks. And, sometimes it's just a case of educating people, and it may be as simple as just saying to the words, well, if you lost the use of your eye or you lost the use of your hand, what job would you actually do to, pay your mortgage or feed your children? Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I think you don't need to scare people with horrible pictures, but just to make them think that, my health is really important. It is important that I go home at night and I've got my hands and my legs, and I'm not coming away with a broken leg or the loss of an eye. So we're more than happy to support on Toolbox Talks, and sometimes it's, if somebody else is telling you something, then your boss saying, right, I want you to wear that pair of gloves, and it's mandatory that you wear this pair of gloves. But if somebody's sitting to you and explaining why and the basics of why we're asking you to do that and what the implications could be if you didn't wear that, I think people tend to listen a bit more.
And it is so important that your boss, your manager, understands that and is on board as well, that they have your safety.
Yeah, the duty of care. They have the duty of care to make sure that is happening.
It's that engagement piece as well. It's the buy-in from the people on the shop floor to know that their employers are going over and above to be able to make sure that their employees are safe, working in a safe environment. And that in turn can help with productivity, because people are got the right equipment on, whatever that may be, and they can work and do their job to the best of their ability, and it's not hindering them.
If somebody has an accident on site, you're going to have a loss of production. You're going to, you're going to have costs that you probably don't think about. Not only the cost of the claim if there was an accident on site, but there could be a cost to the company's reputation, because this accident has had on, people have got to know about this accident that's they've had on site. Also, if there's an accident on site, you're going to get health and safety visit you. Now, I think the last recording was £157 an hour while they're on site, and you can't get rid of them once they're on site. They're on site. So there's a lot of hidden costs that we're trying to bring to the forefront and advise people on. Yeah, there is a cost to the PPE, but there's also big cost to you not wearing PPE. And I think that's what makes Hoffmann a bit different now, that, we're not just giving you the catalogue and go and pick a product. We're coming to you with a catalogue to say, look, we'll help you choose the right product, but we'll also help and support you as well.
I probably underestimated, listening to this for the first time, I'm going to hold my hands up here, probably the scope of what Hoffmann can provide to industry, in all honesty. I see it and I see the products, but knowing that you do so much more, I personally believe that more companies can benefit from what you're telling me today. And I think not enough people know and fully understand the capabilities of what could go wrong, and these small parts are preventative. So can you just cover essentially what it is that, we've talked about slips, trips, falls, you've talked a little bit about gloves, but what is the whole scope of what your offerings are?
So for Hoffmann, it's a total solution. We've got specialists in every field. So we've got engineers that are seasoned and been trained and gone through the apprenticeships, etc. We've got PPE specialists, we've got workplace specialists, we've got area sales managers. So it's really wrapping our expertise around the customer.
Partner, isn't it?
That's right, exactly. So we're a system partner, and we can help in every area within the business as well. So it's not just like a one-trick pony or somebody moving boxes. It's a bit more than that. And we've got the capability and the kind of skilled technical expertise to be able to back up what we're saying. We also, which we should have sort of touched on earlier, is we document this through an operational savings report, and we then work with our customers. We have meetings regularly to demonstrate the effectiveness of what we're doing and how we're able to reduce incidents, save costs, and all of those sorts of great things. We're demonstrating that for our customers.
It's all about, like, we often talk about data, and you can have all of this data, but it's what you do with it. And the fact that you're recording all of this, and then you'll be able to essentially work out the odds of an accident, the cost of an accident. Now, we coming in, we've done this. So I know people, they take it all for granted, really, in terms of, by investing this little bit, getting educated just that little bit more, and it doesn't have to be all in one go.
No.
It's not intimidating.
No, it can be bite-sized chunks, so we could work on the customer's availability. It doesn't have to be a whole day. It can be segments, so we can come in on their when they have free time to be able to help them. So it's really, as you said, it's a consultancy service, but we're not charging, and it's really working in partnership with our customers to agree the requirements that they want, really.
I think any supplier would come in and look at the gloves, for example, that you're using and say, I can do that cheaper. Yes, there's a lot of us out there, and we can all do that. But if we can show, like Dee said, the operation savings reports and prove what we can save that customer, that's going to come a long way as well. And I think also with Hoffmann, we've got our own brands as well as the branded gloves. So, if we're doing a site survey, we are gonna suggest the best product for the job, not necessarily the branded product. It might be one of our own, but if we do need to put a branded product in, we would obviously do that as well. But we also have got our Holex and Grant range, which we can run with as well.
And you do site survey, like surveys as well, not sites. You do the surveys yourselves.
Yeah, we can do it ourselves, or we also have both, because we've been in the industry for a number of years. We have relationships with a lot of the manufacturers and vendors. So if it needs to be a specific vendor or manufacturer, we can orchestrate that, or if it can be us doing it. So whatever is best for the customer, it differs. Every customer is different, and they all have a different requirement. So we have that solution for them.
I feel like you're like big problem solvers. That's what I'm looking up. I'm just a mom. Mom to everybody who likes M&M's there. Absolutely. Earlier I mentioned about a catalogue.
Yes.
Online,
Yes.
People don't know Hoffmann because, I do. I know I work a lot in this industry, but if people don't, let's strip this back. Not a big sell on who you are, but you have catalogue.
Yes.
Of what?
So we have 4 main catalogues.
Yeah.
Our catalogue is number 4, and we often argue with our other expertise.
The favourite one.
This is our favourite one. But it's year-on-year growth. Our catalogue is getting bigger and bigger, but a lot of it's online, and our customers can go onto our website. They can see within easily what category that they want, and they can have a look themselves, or they can request a call back, and we can give technical advice through our website, or we can pick up a phone, or we can even meet them and talk them through it, really.
I think that's the fear of it all, is just thinking it's a catalogue, it's just products. But what you've told me today, you are so much more. It's a service.
Exactly. And also, if it's not in the catalogue, we can source it. I think, again, going back to COVID, we had to locally source products for COVID that, aren't in our catalogue and customers needed. So we had to source those. But it's not just all what we've spoke a lot about PPE, but there's other products that we get involved with as well. So when you're going back to the machine shop, if a guy's standing there for 8 to 10 hours, which some of them
yes, they do.
Yeah. We get involved with like anti-fatigue matting. So, standing on a concrete floor, but if you're on matting, it helps with your posture. As I sat up there properly,
You've got to stay by the microphone.
I know, yeah. So
I like
it helps with your posture and obviously your spine and fatigue and things like that. So obviously that increases productivity. So we can get involved with so much more than not just what the products are in the catalogue as well.
I didn't know that. Anti-fatigue mats, who knows this, but this is adding value to a company. It's not just being preventative. I think I struggle with saying that word, but it's adding value in different ways. You're telling me that, you talk about increasing workflow. You were telling me about, putting productivity.
Yeah. If you're going to increase efficiency, you need somebody be really comfortable. You need somebody to be really comfortable in what they're wearing. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we did a foot scanner with UVEX, and this allows people with like really high arches or a standard pair of footwear that you get in the catalogue is not going to cut it for them because they've got different issues. So we can offer different services for like the foot scanner where we actually measure their foot, so we can tailor make a lot of the products that they need for them.
There's a bespoke offering that we do, and also in addition to the anti-fatigue matting, we also work with workwear as an example. So you might go to a factory, you might see there's 200 people there wearing the same uniform. We can support that as well. We work with clothing manufacturers to be able to embroider and heat seal garments for them. So we've done lots of uniforms for some really high profile customers as well, and that's part of our offering as well.
Another service we offer with the workwear is a sizing day. So we've found in the past that if you are placing an order for workwear for 200 people plus, that is some work for one person normally. So what we found is by going in and sizing the guys, just allowing them to put on the clothing before it's embroidered or heat sealed, we know they're going to get the right clothing, and then we pack it for them and it's delivered. And so we go into the person that's responsible for ordering the workwear and just say, right, all I need from you is PO. I've covered everything else off. We'll deliver it. We'll literally give you the products with the name of the person and everything that they've ordered in there. I know it's going to fit because they've signed to say they've tried it on and it does fit.
I think, from what you've just told me, I think people would be silly if they're not picking up the phone to you because of what your offerings are. You know, people don't know your offerings, but if they could pick up the phone, you're telling me, essentially, you could be looking after them left, right and centre, and you're making their lives so much.
Just leave us to do it and let us sort it out for you. Absolutely, let us get on with it. And
we thrive off that. It brings pleasure knowing that you've helped someone create that solution that they may not have expected you to be able to offer. And it does give you a bit of a buzz at the end of the day to know that you've ticked that box and you've done really well by them. And it will hold you in good stead, because when the next scenario comes up, you'll be the first person that they contact to be able to come in and
because you're adding value. You're adding so much value to a product. That's what I'm picking up from you. It is not just Hoffmann Group and not just a catalogue. You are so much more.
Yeah,
it's what comes behind the catalogue as well, and what we can do to help and support you.
Hayley and Dharmesh. Yep. Thank you very much. You can have an end so you can relax a little bit more. We'll maybe try and get you some peanut M&Ms for the next time you visit.
A demand, it's not a request.
I like this. We'll put that, in our notebook when she arrives again. Thank you very much for talking to us. It's been really educational. I'm picking up the fact that we're only really just skimming the surface.
Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. So please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to demonstrate what we're talking about today.
There we go. Thank you very much. I hope you have a safe journey home. And thank you for listening to this podcast. And I think we'll all be agreeing on the same thing, that it's just that education of what Hoffmann can do in all areas of the company is really, really impressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the MTD podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on mtdcnc.com.